And we are live. Welcome into our Star Wars Republic special live stream for the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 1, our special review live stream. So I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burlyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. So how you guys doing? Burley, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Happy to talk more Boba Fett and more about the Wootini.
Yeah, of course. Yes. And our other co-host, Turn-Based Carl, how you doing, man?
Good. I was feeling very tired, but I got myself some coffee, some nice dark French roast. Should be good.
And I've got a little special friend here. Yes. Mr. Grogu. Yeah. He loves to play with my mic filter here, but yeah. So. So anyway, yes, he's going to be, sitting here and listening to us, and we're going to be talking about the Book of Boba Fett. So, so we're on, of course, YouTube and on Twitch and Twitter. So, this is a spoiler review of Season 1. So if any of you out there have not watched all of Season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett, you might want to tune out and finish watching that, and then watch this live stream and video on demand later on as it goes on Twitch and to YouTube. So, but anyway, we got a lot to talk about. So let's begin. I just want to say that this season started out really interesting in the sense that, we got the backstory of Boba that we had been waiting for a very, very long time. And I really liked the first couple of episodes and where he was going into those dreams and, reliving the past, post episode 6, Return of the Jedi, on Tatooine there. But then as the series progressed, it started veering off in many different directions. Obviously, with the Mandalorian coming into things, it almost seemed like they just got rid of Boba Fett and it just became Mandalorian, season 3 preview, and then it went off into another direction, pertaining to the Jedi and to Grogu and then, finally finishing up going back to Tatooine and everybody coming together, Mando helping out Boba and Finnick and all. But I feel like Boba Fett, it's really hard for him to be a main character in a series. It always seems like even throughout the Star Wars films, episode 5, episode 6, he was, very short, scenes of him in those movies and maybe 1 or 2 lines at most. So I just think he's more of a side character, if anything else, in the Star Wars universe of things. I just don't think a full series as him being the main character holds up. I don't know. What do you guys think to begin this multi-stream? Go for it.
Well, there's a reason it doesn't hold up. I mean, it's not written well. It's the bottom line. I mean, he could be a good character. He's kind of a blank slate. You could have gone in any direction you wanted with this character, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we knew almost nothing about him. We knew he was a ruthless bounty hunter. He was famous for disintegrations, apparently. Right. That's what we got, right? Yeah. And then he got beat by, kind of goofily, by Han Solo. Yeah. But that was sort of the tone. So whatever, it was what it was. Mm-hmm. There's always been this mystique about the character, and there was, the books did their different thing, But the show, you see, it starts off. If you want to go back to the beginning of all this, and that's the stinger at the end of Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah.
If you remember that, he walks into the Jabba's palace, and is Bib Fortuna? Is that the character?
Yeah.
Right? He was on the throne. And he says some nonsense. He barely asks him anything. And he just guns him down dead.
Yep.
Throws his body off of this thing.
That's typical Boba Fett.
Yeah.
That is typical Boba Fett. Yeah.
And then we get the show, and I'm like, where did that guy go?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he starts in the back to tank here.
Yeah.
it seems that the show, like when they were going to say they were going to do a Boba Fett show, like when I heard this announced, I was like, this is not a character I cared about. In episode 5 and episode 6 of the Star Wars film, I could never get it, and I knew people that liked Boba Fett. I was like, why? He has 10 minutes, if that, has nothing. I liked his appearance in Mandalorian season 2 for the was it just 1 or 2 episodes he's in?
Yeah,
something like that. I don't even remember how they presented him, like his personality. I imagine it was different from this because.
Well, it's. I think I think it's a little bit similar. I should have rewatched, but like just bringing him, and then when they said they were going to do a show, I was like, why? And then I liked him in this show, but I have to agree, Carl, with the bad writing, because you just go from it's him. You got flashbacks and and flashing back to the past and present. You've got through that show, and then it's like it just halts, changes to Mandalorian, then goes back to a little bit more Mando, then Mando meeting going to go see Grogu to remember, hey, Luke and Ahsoka are still a thing, and then let's go back to Boba Fett to give him a cameo in 10 seconds in his own series, and then let's go back to Boba Fett for the finale.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know if this was just like they half mapped this out, but they were like they're also mapping out season 3 of Mandalorian. They're going to be like, well, we want Grogu and we want Mando at the beginning of this season, but we don't want to have a season 2.5 kind of thing before, or a 0 episode of season 3 of Mando. We don't want to affect Mandalorian. We got this Boba Fett show we're doing. We know Mandalorian is going to cameo there. We'll just throw it in there. Mm-hmm. It's kind of how it felt.
Yeah, like the first 2 episodes, like I was okay with it. I was like, yeah, this is interesting. I like they're building a story for him, right? That the present day stuff kind of wasn't really going anywhere too quickly, right? It was kind of dragging its feet. They're trying to, it presents something, but it wasn't much. But I was actually more interested in the past story with the Sand People.
Yes.
But that was over after 2 episodes. The 3rd episode in, they're like, all right, they're all dead. See you later. Moving on. And I was like, wait, what the? Like that. Then that's the crux of his change into this all of a sudden, altruistic,
honorable
hero. Yeah. And I'm like, who by the last episode, after not having seen him after 2 episodes, he's like, this is my city. These are my people. And I'm like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
They don't
like
know,
at the beginning, he's like, I'm the crime lord now.
Yeah.
I'm the daimyo.
You're the benevolent crime lord. Yeah, they're calling him a daimyo. Like, first of all, I'm assuming that's just because they want him to be some sort of noble character. I mean, not that necessarily means that, but I guess it could.
It did and it didn't in certain instances in Japanese history. Daimyos were basically feudal lords,
right?
So
they weren't crime lords though, and that's I guess that's the difference. That's the reason why we're gonna call it that. And how by the end of the show it's like, well, okay, well, what are you doing now? How do you run anything? You're not gonna there's no spice trade anymore. You're not taking from anyone. You're just how do you make money? What do you do? You're basically the sheriff, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
No, he wanted Carl. He wanted to be Hokage, but he didn't believe.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Now he does.
Well, what I really liked about the early episodes, I want to go back to the Sand People here, the Tusken Raiders. I mean, a lot of things we learned about the Tusken Raiders that we never learned about during the original movies and, even the animated series or anything. They really didn't go into the Tusken Raiders so much, and we learned a lot about their culture and the fact that there's many, many different, clans of Sand People on Tatooine. So, that was really interesting, and seeing their ritual dances and and seeing how they got their weapons. That was really cool.
Yeah. That's actually my favorite sequence in this whole show would be when they give him that, like, I don't know, was it some like a bug or some scorpion thing, whatever that went inside him, like
right into his nose, and
right, and then he goes on this like
little trek,
drug trip, and finds this tree and gets this
piece of wood
branch, this thick wood branch, and brings it back, and it's like, I don't know what's going on right now, and then it turns out like this is the ritual for them to make their gaffy sticks, and I'm like, this is brilliant. I love this. I want more of this.
Right.
But that was the end of it.
And that's
the coolness.
Right. That's what I was wishing they would have did differently in this whole series, is to just focus on the first couple of years after episode 6. And what he did with the sand people and things like that. That would have been cool. I mean, the other cool scene at the beginning, of course, is seeing how he got out of the Sarlacc pit. Also, because for years people had always wondered, how did he survive the Sarlacc pit?
I was not impressed at all.
Yeah.
You're telling me, okay, all he needed to do to survive was, for one, like, okay, I guess if he didn't have his armor, he'd be dead. I don't know.
Yeah, because of the acid. Yeah.
There was a stormtrooper in there, so he takes that guy's,
air,
oxygen, which to me tells me, okay, he's been on here only for like a little while,
right?
Like minutes, right? Because if he needs oxygen, if there's no air, then if he was unconscious, he would be dead after a few minutes. So clearly, this is immediately in my eyes. This has to be immediately after. So he gets the guy, he gets some air. He like punches a hole, I guess, through the side of it, and flame throws what?
Burns his way through. Yeah.
What is he flame throwing into? Like deep under the ground in the sand? You can't flame throw sand to dig out. That doesn't work. I don't know none of this makes any sense. And you would have to be like incredibly strong to dig that far out of like the sand. None of it makes any sense at all. And then he's later on forgets that he crawled out with his armor on. So like, I don't know what was that about.
Yeah, that was just dumb. That I didn't mind him getting out. How he got out, that was fine by me. That one didn't bother me. It was him going back to the goddamn thing. It was like, you gotta be fine. Like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like,
fire in the hole.
Yeah, and then he dives because he thinks, oh, I may have got my armor got left in there. It's like, no, you took parts of it, fell off when you came out, and I think he took off the helmet himself because he wanted the fresh air.
Yeah.
It was like,
all right.
Come on.
Whoever wrote that scene, like, there's no way you can't tell me that they knew or remembered how he got out of it. They must have forgot. They have to, because it makes no goddamn sense. And on top of that, it's dumb as hell that he would nose the whole ship right into the damn hole.
That was stupid. Yeah,
knowing exactly what the hell the thing does. He knows what's getting. Why are you doing that? Just shoot some bombs in there, kill it, and then go in. Which is what ends up happening.
Yeah. The armor was more important than life.
Again, these are examples of bad writing. Like, I should have known from the beginning, because even the first 2 episodes, I was like nitpicking little things, but like, I like attention to detail.
Yeah. And
I think it's a good sign of writing when you see a show has good attention to detail on small things. So like you see the sand people drinking from those I call them sand coconuts. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, that's probably the best description.
They gave them a name. They called them something in there. But I was like, whatever. These nonsense these nonsense things that they all they got to do is just dig with their hands in the sand to find this source of water. I'm like, that makes no sense. But besides that,
well, because maybe they put them there like in the past at some point. Who knows?
I guess. But then the guy's like drinking it through his helmet, and I'm like, how does that work? How does it go through your mask? I don't understand. Like, attention to detail. You can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. If you were to drink, think about it just logically. If you were to drink like anything through a helmet, at the very least, he's sipping it like it's like fucking tea, right? He's just like, right? But if realistically, if somehow there was a way for it to go through, which looking at this picture, there's absolutely doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
right?
unless this part opens here, maybe.
I guess, but at the very least, he should be like craning his head back and porting it down.
Yeah.
At the very least, and then I would be like, all right, at least you thought about like something, but you didn't. It's like little nonsense like that. Oh, I'm being too loud.
one of my favorite scenes from early the episode has to do with one of those drinking the things, the milk, because it's actually milk, not water. Because he says to one of the guys later on, when they're digging for it, and he's just in the beat sun, and he grabs the one, finds it, and starts drinking it. And one of the raiders goes to whack him. He holds the staff, and says, "I'm thirsty," and just continues to drink. I love that scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the train,
the spice train,
robbery, train attack, assault was fantastic. That to me was the best action sequence in the entire show, because I mean, you might want to think some of the stuff in the last episode, but because the like the reasoning behind it, right? The logic, the tension of it, like the threat of it, what the stakes, like you felt a good reason, and you felt like it was dangerous. A lot of the Sand people were dying, in this effort to stop this thing. There were stakes. There were real stakes to that scene.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the best sequences in the whole show. Yeah, I really enjoyed that part. Yeah, and that one guy that was training Boba with the gaffy stick. I mean, you never saw him like later on when you see the clan wiped out. You never see his body, but I'm sure he was probably one of the ones that was taken out also. But I mean, he was just amazing teaching Boba how to use that gaffy stick, and later it served him well. Obviously, we'll talk about that later, but I mean,
just disappointing. Burley was right. Burley was right.
But yeah, I mean,
I think he'll be back.
Yeah. So, but anyway, spice, of course, being this major source of trade, and funneling it through Tatooine, with the Pike Syndicate, of course, and the Pike Syndicate also is in the Clone Wars, in the animated series, of course, as well. So, I think in the final season, you actually go to their home planet. One of the episodes with Ahsoka.
Okay.
But anyway, good old Pike Syndicate.
Yeah. When I went back and I watched all the Cad Bane episodes, and there were a couple little things that I saw in this that I was like, oh, I didn't realize those were, previously used. So like the droid that's the assistant that Boba Fett has in the Jabba's palace, the one who's kind of like dry, sarcastic.
Yeah.
Who I really liked, but again, they just forgot about. It's just, it had no purpose really. But that type of droid was in the Clone Wars show, and I think like the cook bot with like the bunny ear things, the fat body, that was in it too. I saw those. I was like, oh, okay, they got these other little things here and there that I just never saw those droids before in live action.
Right.
Here they were from the cartoon.
Right. So another character that I really enjoyed in this, of course, was Chrysanthemum, the Wookiee. And I mean, he was such a badass in this season. And obviously he goes on, first he tries to kill Boba, of course, in the bacta tank, but then he goes on and he becomes kind of like an employee of Boba later on. But yeah, I mean, just his strength, his physicality. I mean, Wookiees, being able to take like a dozen laser blasts. I mean, this thing was amazing. Yeah, and then how he like discombobulated like those guys in the Oasis, just tearing arms and limbs off and stuff like that. He was amazing. I really enjoyed Chrysanthemum.
See, you touched on another point that I have a problem with the show, is I don't there doesn't feel like there's danger most of the time. So like you said, he gets shot a bunch of times. He's fine. In the last episode, Boba and Mando are getting shot like 20 times by laser blasts, and they're just invincible. They can't die.
Yeah.
And like, what's the tension anymore? And specifically that Black Chrysanthemum fight, when he attacks him in the Bacta tank, I thought it was really good at first, but then you get to the point where like he's breaking out his like thunder knuckles, right?
Yeah.
And he just dead on decks Boba in the face, straight on. And like, all right, he's dead, right? He's dead, or at the very least shattered his face. He's unconscious, right? No, he just gets back up and he's fine. Like nothing happened.
That's a part of Star Wars, unfortunately, when it comes to stuff like that. Yeah,
that's bad writing. Like, how do I understand? How do I care about like a fight when I don't think any of these characters can really get hurt?
Oh yeah, no, the characters have, for the most part, the characters in this series have major plot armor.
Yeah,
but I still love that fight though, between Boba and that.
Yeah,
you got everyone doing. You got everyone doing stuff. You got the Gamorreans, the one of them that gets bit, the cyborgs. You got Finnick, and they're all working together and all trying different stuff to get Chrysanthemum. They can't get him down. They end up having to move him out and getting him trapped.
But also, how's he sneaking in there? This big giant.
That was kind of that was one thing. Like I think we said, Expat and I says like we, as much as we love that fight, how did the Wookiee? Because those things aren't quiet.
Yeah.
How did the Wookiee get it? Like if you told me like an assassin like Finnick had gotten in,
right?
Yeah, that would have been more plausible.
I believe that, and causing stuff, and then as they're all going to the Bacta tank, Chrysanthemum can get in easy, fine. But it's like, it's not like it's just Finnick and the two Gamorreans. They have the cyborg people all over in there, so it's like,
Yeah, the cyborg people. Yeah,
it's like, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people around. If you want me to believe it, show me how. And if you didn't want to show me how at that point, then give me a reveal later. Like maybe there was someone on the inside who betrayed him. Anything. I don't care. Whatever it is, give me a reason.
Just show us the droid was an asshole.
He could have been. He didn't seem to like him very much. You know?
Yeah.
That's the thing with the show is I feel like most of this show was, okay, they did the storyboards first, right? They drew out these cool sequences. We want to have him fighting in this, ambushing him in the Bacta tank. And then they're like, all right, we got to write how this happens. How do we get to this point? When that's bad, right? You can't do that. That's not going to work. You can't set up your cool imagery and then like, all right, let's somehow get there. Like you're forcing that moment to happen. You're not making it natural.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense. Just fuck it, write it in anyways and get it done.
Yeah. I mean, the Rancor stuff, in the last episode, like it doesn't really make sense why it's happening the way it is. It doesn't make sense why it's got this like King Kong moment in the end. Like why is this happening now?
Yeah.
But it's like someone drew that up and like, wouldn't this be awesome if this happened? And like, absolutely it would. We'll find a way to write it in there.
Yeah.
Well, before we get to the Rancor characters, I think they wasted in this show, and you could have done a lot more with the Hutts.
Okay.
Yeah.
You besides him getting the Rancor and Chrysanthemum, the Hutts add nothing. Because it kind of is looking like it's setting it up that the Hutts are going to be a major threat against him and try and challenge him and take it over. But they're there for 2 episodes and then they're gone.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yep,
really? You're going to bring in Jabba's cousins, the twins, and they do
nothing.
They do nothing.
Yeah.
They send one assassination attempt, and when it fails, when they learn it fails, we're just going to give you a pet monster. We're going to leave here because the Pike's coming. We're just going to let the Pikes and you fight it out.
Yeah.
And if you're smart, you'll run right now. And it's like, So you're willing to give up one of your own assassins, give a monster up to give to your enemy here. Like,
Right. Yeah.
this makes no fucking sense. Like,
I could tell you why it happened that way, Burley.
okay.
Do you know what I'm gonna say?
Bad writing? Storyboard?
Well, yes, but yes. You see, somebody's like, wouldn't it look at this cool picture I drew, the twin huts, and they're presenting a Rancor to Boba Fett. Isn't that really cool imagery? Why, yes, sir, it is. Let's put that in the show. How we get there? I don't know. Who cares? Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Did they have J.J. Abrams writing this? Or they just?
I mean, J.J. Abrams is a much better writer, as even as like the what do you call it? The Rise of Skywalker isn't very good.
Yeah.
You can see why it was written the way it was. I mean, he was going off what he had, trying to reverse things.
Oh yeah. I don't blame that movie. I don't blame him. They were written to a hole. And
they were.
He was like, I'll take the check. I'll take the check because whatever I need another $2 million check from Disney or whatever they paid him. Yeah. I'll take the check. I know it's going to be hell, but I might as well take the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And probably a bit of hubris on his part I understand, like, okay, I am someone who really didn't like The Last Jedi, right? Mm-hmm. And I got a kick out of a lot of the moments in Rise of Skywalker where it kind of poked fun at some of the stuff in there that I really didn't like. That was fine. The problem is that he went farther to the point where, like, the story he wrote didn't really take into account the events of that. Like, I feel like you should have at least tried to say, like, all right, this happened, right? We can't really say this doesn't exist anymore. So you could have at least tried to make it flow a bit more and still get your jabs in, right? But you went like totally like 180, like no, we're going back. It's the Emperor again, okay? We're off track here on this, but I think it's relevant. It's sort of a similar idea of a not good way to write stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to the huts for just a second here. So basically, they're getting out of town. It seems like from what they were saying in their final scene that they were leaving the planet. So I mean, what does that? It just left a big question mark. Is that it for huts on Tatooine, or who knows?
Well, there's so many other shows. I mean, there's no reason why these characters wouldn't show up somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, they might show up in Mando season 3. Who knows?
Mando season 3. I mean, if that other show happens, that Rangers of the Republic, whatever that was.
Yeah, Rangers of the Republic, I think it is.
Yeah,
something like that. No,
and considering the length of life, I mean, they could be an Andor, they can be an Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, I have a feeling it'd be Obi-Wan.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, being that it's Tatooine, but then again, you could bring Jabba the Hutt back for that.
Well, but I'm meaning you're gonna bring Jabba for Obi-Wan, and then him meet his cousins, have them come in and be showing, I've got my palace the way I want it.
Yeah.
Aren't you jealous, my twin cousins? And they'll be like, we'll get it from you one day when you die.
Yeah.
With
and we'll definitely see rancors in Obi-Wan too. So
the Rancor.
Who knows? But anyway, I want to move on to some other characters that I thought were, probably could have been left out. They wanted to make a kind of a cyberpunk feel to it all. The Cyborg. Yeah. I mean, they were, and their colorful bikes like Back to the Future. I mean, I just didn't like that in this show. What did you guys think of that?
That's horrible. It's so bad. Even if they weren't that the colors aside, which way too bright and honestly also way too clean.
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Especially
it looked like they came from Coruscant or something. Those bikes.
Right. You see, that's a good point. Like if they were on Coruscant, maybe this would have been a believable group, right?
Yeah.
But they're on Tatooine, and like, why would they have these things in this pristine condition, and they seem to be like, you know, street thug vagrants. Like they don't seem to have a lot of money. So how are they keeping them in such good? Is that all they do all day? Like they wax their
probably.
But not only that, they look, they move weird. They move. I don't like the way they filmed or did the motion of it. Like it's just something was wrong, just off, just didn't feel right.
Okay, I have an answer, Carl, for why the bikes are so clean. Remember the water broker in that episode? Yeah, they were probably stealing water from him to clean off their bikes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who knows?
His moisture evaporator.
Yeah.
Well, again, that was just a dumb character, because all that led to was just him getting extra muscle.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, you're gonna make this sleazeball, and Boba just says he's done with it. The debt has been paid. Here, I've given you money. Mm-hmm. Take it and leave it. Like I would have thought that. I was thinking that character would come back with the other, the crime other families.
Yeah.
And he would have, you would have seen him go to one of the crime lords being like, sorry, Crime Lord X, I can't give you more money because Boba has screwed me out of customers. Right. And he's making things try to make things kind of legitimate here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the problem also is that there's no main villain of this show. The Pikes are the threat. You see them, but there's not like a character amongst them. They're just
right, and that's all it is. Yeah.
Well, the first bit, it's the mayor. He's got a battle with the mayor because the mayor wants money from him.
Yeah, and
he's like, no, this is not how it works. Mayor kicks back to me, and then the mayor is being a snotty dick to him, and especially with the mayor's assistant.
Yeah.
And then the mayor just takes off because the mayor's trying to negotiate with the Pikes to get rid of Boba.
Yeah, he just kind of disappears. He's not even really a character.
Yeah.
Who cares? In the end, we see him die. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
I don't care. I love the mayor's death.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, it was cool. Yeah, the way he got like strung up.
Yeah.
Yeah, hung him.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the relationship between Boba and Finnick. So throughout the series, of course, obviously, in The Mandalorian, we kind of see Finnick, and how she's, laying there dying, and then you see somebody walking up, and of course, most of us knew, hey, that's Boba Fett, Mm-hmm. But then again, we don't see exactly what takes place, and so we see it in the book of Boba Fett, of course. He takes her to this kind of like surgical guy, which we see later on in the show, of course. But
it's the Ripper Docs from
the Ripper Docs, yeah,
right, from Cyberpunk 2099.
Exactly, yeah.
2077.
That's what I meant.
2077. Yeah. So I mean, it takes her to out the outskirts of Mos Eisley and gets her fixed up, and then they have that conversation there about what Boba wants to become, and maybe she could help him and stuff, and she was kind of a little reluctant at first, but as the story goes on, it at the beginning she's like, you have to project a position of strength, and she's kind of like, in the beginning, it seems like the brains to Boba's, muscle, so to speak. But as the season goes on, she becomes like the middle person when it comes to negotiations, and especially with getting Mando involved and all. So, what did you guys think of the relationship, the dynamics of that throughout the season with Boba and Finnick?
I mean, I feel like they're the same character, and that's a big problem with the show, mm-hmm. because there's no like dynamic between them, that like there's no interesting back and forth. They're both like, they both don't say a lot. They're both I don't know, like kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, they're kind of like gruff and not very personable. I mean, there's not enough difference between them. And Fennec is like actually a more ruthless character.
Yeah.
She's more the Boba Fett we would think of.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
like it's another problem.
Yeah.
I don't really get like why she really wants to tag along. It just seems like the reasoning is just like, well, I guess he saved my life, so I guess that means I need to stick with him.
Yeah.
He got these.
That's what I got from it.
He got these guys to shove pistons in my gut, and now I'm good. So
pistons. That's good, yeah.
So,
that's probably the best analogy for it.
Yeah.
That's what they look like, pistons in there.
Right. So like we're good. I guess I gotta stay with him.
With
I don't
blue
know.
fluid,
Yeah.
and then the blood pumping through there. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you did hit the nail that she is similar to him, but she is just more quick-tempered and more like not quick-tempered, but she's more to just, what'll solve this? We just quickly kill people and just go there. She's more dark.
She's smarter.
She's just, she's not. She doesn't have qualms of doing it, and she's more of, you want things to go. Don't pussyfoot around. Just get it done. But the relationships of 0 out of 10, they weren't boinking, and there's no incest throughout the season.
Oh my goodness.
I'm kidding.
I mean, what they should have done, because I think it would have been set up well if they put more time into it, is have her betray Boba and just kill him in the end, because she would realize, or maybe he has to fight her and he kills her. However you want, obviously, because he's the hero and he has to live, because this is this Disney-fied garbage here. But
This is the way.
yeah, but like it would have made sense, because she is like has all the better ideas of especially running a criminal organization.
Yeah.
She was looking at him like he's an idiot the whole time, and if they had just done if she had just been in charge, things would have been great, and then she could have been running a fantastic criminal empire in Jabba's place, without this idiot who's just like this big softy who's just trying to be nice to everyone.
Yeah.
And that helmet, man, I hate that helmet. It's so goofy. Why do they think that's good? Look, it looks terrible. It's the worst.
Okay.
Hey, they could get it cheap at Walmart. That's what
Yeah,
they
there you
got.
go.
I guess.
Wow.
I can't. Fennec. I don't understand. Like, they're trying so hard to make people like this character, make everyone think she's this badass. She's super cool. Like, I guess maybe also because I don't see it in the show, and the helmet looks dumb as hell. But like, she's Agent May from Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
She's not doing anything different. She's the same person. She's not acting any different than that. So, and Tamara Morrison too. Like, I don't think that these actors are good enough to hold the series and run a series.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem with the show.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and also, of course, we get from Mandalorian season 2, obviously, the Marshal. We get him in
He's
a few
good,
scenes.
man.
Yeah.
He's freaking good.
Yeah. I'm really happy that they brought him back as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know. So and to see what they do with him later on, it's going to be interesting. But him and of course Mando from Mandalorian season 2.
They're gonna put pistons in his shoulder.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that, Carl.
It's the same guy. He doesn't know anything else. That's all he knows how to do.
Yeah. So
It's like, I'm not a doctor.
Sir, I just need you to stitch me. No. You need pistons of V6 in there.
yeah.
Cut out a chunk and just shove stuff in there. All right, it's good. It's better.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to Mando. I mean, of course, because that's when this whole series just went haywire. I mean, it's like, what the hell is going on? It's like they're throwing Boba Fett aside because it seems like Disney probably must have realized that Boba Fett can't carry an entire season by himself, as a main character. So they had to spark the interest of what's going on with Mando, and so we get a whole episode on the Mandalorian. So, like Burley was saying, Mandalorian season 3 preview, and him wielding the darksaber and going into that, like the meat factory with the dog faces, as Burley likes to call them, and just using that darksaber, which we find out that for Mando, it's very difficult to carry. It's very heavy. So for those that aren't trained in using the darksaber, it becomes like a sledgehammer type of thing. It's like a huge, big heavy piece of material until they master, the use of it, I guess. But I mean, what'd you guys think of this? I mean, with Mando coming in, it's like going off in a completely different direction. We didn't even get Boba Fett in this episode. I mean, it was all, we got like 30 seconds of Finnick at the end. But I mean, I liked it personally. I mean, I thought it was, a great distraction from what was going on. But I mean, I don't think, it wasn't the proper place, maybe. I don't know. What'd you guys think?
This was not the proper place. I get you wanted to, because the episode prior you end with the flute and you're hinting Mandalorian's gonna come back.
Yeah.
And we all kind of figured he would jump in.
We thought like at the very end he would come in,
Yeah,
right.
But it's like like I said when we did the review for this, I could understand like the first 10 minutes, give 10 minutes of Mandalorian just to see him coming to Tatooine. But this was like, okay, they want to really push for season 3 of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And as we learn with Grogu, they want to push for them together. So that way season 3 of Mandalorian starts with the two of them.
Yeah, which I think is garbage, because you set up, there was a big moment at the end of season 2 for them to let go of each other, right? And go their separate ways.
Right.
And now if you just go and watch Mandalorian season 2 and then start season 3, I'm assuming they're just going to be together, right? Because we already had the reunion in this show. So you're going to be like, wait, what? Like, we had this big emotional moment, and then all of a sudden, like, it's just retro. It's just gone. Well, why? Why would you write this? Why would you do it this way?
Yeah.
It won't make sense from a perspective of someone who's just watching Mandalorian and not Boba Fett, like in the future.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like, so like this first half of this episode was excellent. I mean, I loved the what they're building with the idea of, the other Mandalorians, and like showing how they're like this more like zealot version of the Mandalorians, and maybe that's not the way for him. I don't know. Like, he seems to want to try to uphold that, but they tell him, that
get lost.
There's only one way to, redeem yourself, and it's on this place that doesn't exist anymore. And
it's like in the caves, in Mandalore.
And like he's like, okay, I guess. And we'll see. Like, I don't know how he took that. Did he take that as like, all right, I guess that's it, or did he take that as like, I'll find a way?
I think it's the latter, because I mean, like in the very last episode when he's talking to Boba, and he's like, Boba's like, you believe in that cannon fodder, about, this is the way, and he's like, I do. Yeah. But then Boba's like, good.
Because it benefit Boba.
Yeah.
But I think he'll go attempt to do it. Like, it was neat to see the armor and the other Mandalorian. That was neat to see them, but it's just like,
who interestingly is a descendant of the Mandalorian / Jedi who made that darksaber.
Yeah. But this just kind of screws with the ending of Mandalorian season 2, because you do this whole hype thing that they have to go. Grogu needs to go get trained in the ways of Jedi and all that, and the Force. But in this show, we got to have them reunite, because we have to. You could have had it where you could have done it. Mandalorian does a few first 2 to 3 episodes in his season 3, do stuff, and then you know what, he wants to go check it. But they did this so quick, because it's the end of season 2. Going from the end of season 2 Mandalorian, we're now in a Boba Fett show. No, we got to get them to reunite. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it kind
I'd
of
love to know the story behind
screws
it.
season 3.
Yeah, well,
they've gotta-
obviously, what they're doing here is they want to make everybody realize, okay, Grogu's not going to be a Jedi in the traditional sense, because Luke is trying to continue the ways of the old Jedi at this point, and obviously in episode 8 and 9, of course, especially 8, you find out that he believes that he screwed up completely, and this is just the beginnings of it all. Because like at the end of the episode with Grogu, where he gives him the choice, it's like,
and that's the next episode, like the 6th one.
Yeah.
And this is, 6th episode is just fantastic. It's just,
oh,
I
yeah.
love this idea, that they're presenting, right? You're talking about with Luke, and he's trying to go back to the old ways of the Jedi, and it's very obvious when he makes Grogu choose that that's probably not the way.
Yeah.
But it's back to like the way, right, and never taking off the helmet thing. I mean, like I like that moment where she asks the two of them, like, have you ever taken off your helmet? And the other guy's like, no, never. And Mando's just like there was this one time and then this other and then but it's like ridiculous.
Why didn't he just say to eat?
Well, yes, but that's such a ridiculous concept that I don't get and like, because if you think about it, so you're telling me the Mandalorians who follow this way can never have a meal together?
Yeah, just never show their faces. Never.
It's like that's really weird.
Yeah.
So they all have to, like, when they want to eat, they have to like go to separate rooms and just like sit there and like take their helmet off and eat by themselves.
Maybe.
Well, you never have to kiss
little ramen cups.
Yeah, just a part of their culture, I guess. Yeah,
it's bizarre. It makes no sense.
You can never kiss your wife if she's a man.
I'm assuming they can't even have wives. I don't. They must never. They don't. They do it with the helmets on, of course, obviously, right? So, it's that. I just want them to go back to like Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorians who don't care about taking the helmet off. Sabine, right? When we see her, like, just if you wanna keep it around in some aspect, but like I don't want that to be part of it. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So of course he leaves them, and I don't know if we're gonna see those two again. The armorer, if not, we might. Who knows? But yeah, they're isolated, it looks like, and so he takes off, and then he of course goes to Tatooine, and of course, Carl, your favorite character.
Oh my god, I hate this so much. And they brought her back again.
Spaceport, where, of course, in A New Hope and in those movies where the Millennium Falcon landed, I think that's the same, port.
It looks kind of like it, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it, yeah, that the Millennium Falcon was parked in the movies. But, he goes back to, to her to, where's my Razor Crest? And obviously she doesn't have a Razor Crest, but she has some bucket of bolts in one starfighter that she's putting back together, and obviously you see the cone there when they're talking about, the droid pit, in the kind of, in the backside, it's, I took that out. It's like, oh, you know who that's going to be for now, it's like, we knew, it's like, okay, that's going to be Grogu's little cockpit, moving forward. But,
this is the member berries half of the episode.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing. It's just like, hey, look, you remember these type of droids? You remember this type of ship? You remember this canyon? Like, you remember these X-Wings? You remember these X-Wing fighter pilots? I think we saw them somewhere before, probably. I don't know. One of them.
I was watching episode 9 just the other night, and at the very end, where Rey, she's goes back to Tatooine and everything to bury the lightsabers and everything, and then that really old woman comes up, and I was just, I know it's not her, but I was just thinking in the back of my head real quickly, is that her, from
oh god,
from the Book of Boba Fett. Yeah,
is that Strangers with Candy?
Yeah. Yeah. So Burley, we got something in the chat. What do we got?
Yeah, I was just about to say, hi Vargas. Today? I don't know what you mean, but welcome on in. We hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, the member berries they do it so much. I was waiting for the South Park member berries just to drive into the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got the BD droid from the game, the Jedi Fallen Order,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool. It's cute, but you know, it doesn't really do anything. It's just there.
Yeah.
You know, they had this like, why do they got to do slapstick nonsense? Like this like, oh, I get, was it like a womp rat or something? Is like,
Yeah.
grabbing her and she's like behind this box crate and she's like, oh my god, it's so awful and terrible. I don't understand. If I was like in charge of this and you put that on thing, I was watching the episode, you know, to give it final approval, I'd be like, you need to cut all this out, right?
Yeah.
We're not serious. Like, and you're fired. Just to go home.
We paid her to shoot this shit. Whose idea brought to bring her back and write her in? It was mine, sir. You can just go.
Yeah.
And then they bring her back again in the last episode, and I was like, oh no.
You knew when they brought her back once, they were gonna bring her back again.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
She's gonna be in Mando season 3.
I did not know that, Burley. I assumed we would never see her again. That was my assumption. Why would I think she would? I mean, I wouldn't think she would get a second appearance, but she did.
So Carl, assume this now. She's going to be in Mando season 3. I'll bet you a box of spiritual opium on it right now.
No, they're
only one box. I bet a few more than just one.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm being light on Carl here. Yeah.
He's leaving Tatooine forever. I guess maybe she'll be in the first episode when she has to give him.
Well, apparently she's never been off world. She's lived on Tatooine her whole life, so maybe she does, you know, get out there somewhere.
I got it. Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. She can't. Mando still needs a bigger ship, right?
Right.
And it seems like Boba's not leaving this planet anytime soon. So Boba's gonna give Mando the fire spray, as they call it now. And Miss Strangers with Candy is going to be part of his crew, and she's just going to go with them. And it's going to be the worst thing in the world. We're going to hate it.
Yeah. Well, actually, they Disney just announced a Disney Plus series with her and the droids.
Oh, it got the we're going into like Star Wars holiday special territory now.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
I've actually never watched the whole thing. I've seen clips of that.
Yeah, she feels like she belongs in that. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And what happened to what's his name? Machete. I forgot the actor's name.
Robert. Robert.
The Rancor trainer.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah. That was just a little cameo appearance from him. Yeah. So.
And that was only because Robert Rodriguez directed that episode.
Right.
They're huge collaborators. It's like, that's nice to bring him in there, but you bring him in for one thing of the training, and you show the Rancor the one time for the training stuff, and then it doesn't come back to the end. No, sorry. You do have the one dinner scene when he's got all the crime lords, but it's like you just see the claws of the Rancor, and it's like, I would have liked to see if you're gonna bring Danny Trejo as its trainer. Mm-hmm. Use Danny Trejo more throughout the thing. Like, I know he's not that huge of an actor, so I can't imagine him eating too much of your budget.
Yeah.
Hi, Kill. Hey,
Kill. Hey, welcome in, Kill. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, but let's move on a little bit here. Speaking of characters that only got a cameo appearance, of course, Ahsoka Tano. Yes, and of course, I mean, seeing her with Luke, I mean, that was fan service. I mean, people have been wondering for years whether or not Luke or Ahsoka ever met, like after Return of the Jedi or anything like that, or if Ahsoka was even alive at that time. But now we know, and obviously, she references the fact that, you're much like your father, referring to Anakin, of course. And then, trust your instincts. I mean, that was probably one of the worst things that she could have told Luke to do, because we know what happens later on. But I think it was a lot of fan service for her to be in that, and it's setting up her potential of having another meeting with Luke, perhaps in the Ahsoka series. We don't know, but because Luke asks her, will I ever see you again? And she says, perhaps. So that leaves the door open that, maybe Luke and Ahsoka do something in the future. You kind of wonder, why didn't she just stay there and help Luke establish this Jedi Academy? But obviously she's still after Thrawn. And that's probably going to be the basis of the Ahsoka series. But what did you think of the Ahsoka cameo?
Yeah, it's fine that she's there. It does feel like fan service, because I didn't really see a reason for her to be there. It didn't really quite make sense that she would be there. But I mean, it's fine. You could write a way that a reason for her to be there that we don't have to know at this point. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind that. Yeah.
Well, she was there mostly just to remind you she's out there and there's going to be the series. And Kill's asking us, how are we doing? I hope that we're all doing well today. Yeah,
Kill, good. We're doing great, man. I'm doing great. So I hope you are as well. So thanks for joining in with us tonight. So
on this fine Saturday evening. Well, if you're on East Coast,
but if you're on the other side of the planet, side of the planet, I am, it's Sunday morning, 11:35 ish. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe Kill is in the same time zone as us, Carl.
Okay, so if you're giant dorks like us, and this is how you're spending your Saturday evening,
shut up, Carl.
Welcome.
I just about had enough of you.
I knew. I was waiting for that to come. I love his little emotes.
Yeah. So
what is?
Yeah.
So we got to talk about Luke. Okay. Let's
talk about Luke. Yeah.
Luke. So do you know the thing about the voice?
No.
Okay. So who do you think did the voice? Let me ask you. Is there anything sound different to you? What did you think of it?
Well, obviously, in Mandalorian season 2, it was Mark Hamill, obviously. So, yeah, and Mark Hamill did voice this one too. I imagine. Tell us, Carl.
You would assume, but you'd be wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
who was it?
It was a machine. It was AI.
Really?
Yes. So they did this new technique that they're working on that is basically like deep faking, but for a voice. So they took all the voice work of Mark Hamill as Luke, and they had other recordings of like audio or like radio shows or something that he did. They took everything they could get and they put it into this sort of AI, machine thing that they could teach how to speak like him. And I mean. That's the thing. It does sound like him. It really does.
Yeah.
But it also sounds a lot like someone trying to speak specifically like Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi. Not like Luke in general, just like that very like sort of monotone, quiet, like thing that he did in Return
we could
of
probably
Jedi.
Forgive that though. I mean, because this probably isn't too far out from the end of Return of the Jedi. I don't know how many years this would be after, but
it definitely works because it tricks you. You believe it. It sounds like a person. It's just he's not emoting a lot, and I could see maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Or more, they didn't want to pay Mark Hamill the amount of lines they would have to for them. They just didn't want to pay what it's going to cost Mark Hamill. And it's like, we already have recordings, so let's just try this, because like I know they're doing that whole thing for fighter pilot movie Top Gun, the sequel, because Val Kilmer, because of his throat cancer, they're digitally recreating his voice. So it's like, let's just try this. So we have tested out here, because this is Boba Fett, since this is already a testing ground of just throwing shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I
test
mean,
it here.
the face, the deep fake of it this time looked even better than before.
Yeah.
And
So this is from the Mandalorian season 2 finale here.
yeah, so I mean, I almost think that this is them sort of maybe getting to a point where they could do a Luke Skywalker TV series
Oh,
without actually having Mark Hamill at all.
Oh, yeah.
Not without him doing the voice and without him doing any of the face, the face, obviously, which would be wild. I mean, to have basically a real digital character going on.
What do we got in the chat, Burley?
Now we got Donovan Viper. Is this the place where I can get them tarot readings? No. Oh, Donnie. Donnie's a UK streamer.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, but he will say some stupid but interesting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Donovan, your card is the Hanged Man.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah,
Is
I mean,
Cleo?
there was
Oh
initial-
God. Where's Cleo?
Yeah, I remember Cleo.
There's a whole thing at when we used to work in the office. Sorry for this little tangent.
Yeah.
We have they had a little thing printed for Miss Cleo where it had her phone number, and we used to every once in a while just play those old videos. I'll just call, and the card's never lie. Better than death, I'll take that. The Hangman card is better than the death card. I think they're almost the same
Probably.
thing.
I'm sure. I don't know. They got different meanings, Burley. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway,
It depends if it's right side up or upside down too. Don't forget that.
Oh, that's true, right? No,
Very
nothing but
important.
tarot cards.
so anyway, let me throw this at you guys. I mean, obviously now Grogu has left Luke, and he's gonna go his own way with Mando. But I mean, eventually, Mando's gonna die. Do you think Grogu, in a few hundred years, could establish? This is just, I mean, and maybe they're thinking of doing another Star Wars series, particularly on Grogu, of creating a new Jedi Order, where Grogu he makes his own lightsaber. He establishes a new type of Jedi Order, one that maybe Rey doesn't establish, or maybe a part of that. I don't know. Where do you think you guys could see Grogu moving forward? Say maybe post Mandalorian.
No. Do you think there's more to the? Go ahead, Burley. Sorry.
He kills Mando with the dark saber, takes the dark saber, and establishes his own order, killing frogs.
Do you think there's more to the line that Luke had, where he said that it's not as much I'm training in as he's remembering?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's strange because he acts like a baby, right? And if you go back to how much farther back, the sequence we saw, the flashback Order 66, right?
Yeah.
Where he's still a baby, he's still in the crib thing, right? I mean, it wasn't even in Mandalorian. Like,
yeah.
How much did he really learn? It's just, I don't really quite understand what they're trying to imply with Grogu.
Yeah. I don't know.
Isn't he like 50 years old, they said?
Yeah, he's about 50.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 50. Yeah.
It's like, damn, I wish I had that aging. At 50, you're an infant still?
Yeah, because I mean, his species will live to past 900.
Right.
Most
but
likely.
That doesn't really make sense because, like, 50 years as a tiny little baby, I mean, they would never survive. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well,
Especially
maybe
with
maybe
Order 66
it's that species.
and everything else goes on.
Yeah, we don't know anything about the species. So I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. I would like there to be more of a secret to it. More of a mystery to it than simply like he's just a baby still at 50 and doesn't remember his previous training. I mean, he can't talk by 50 years old. I mean, I don't know. Like, it just seems odd. It's very odd.
Yeah. Maybe he can, but he just hasn't yet. Maybe they're going to surprise us in Mando season 3. Yeah. So where he remembers how to speak.
Right.
So, but
it'd be bizarre if his development is that stunted for that long. It's
Yeah,
a weird,
yeah.
it's a very weird
Well-
species, I gotta say.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe just to help the writers. I can't believe I'm saying this. It's like it's just all repressed shit because of everything he saw with Order 66 and what he dealt with after that,
Yeah.
from the ending of episode 3 going
Yeah.
past episode 6,
Yeah.
of just him hiding somewhere, eating frogs,
Yeah.
and random people taking care of him.
Well, that's the big mystery still. Who rescued him? I mean, who got him out of the Jedi Temple on Coruscant? And how did he survive that? I mean, we still don't know that, and maybe we're going to find that out later. Maybe in The Mandalorian Season 3, we get another Jedi appearance, somebody that actually was there and saved him and went into hiding as well. We have no idea. I mean, and that's what interests me the most. Who could it have been?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kanan? With Kanan, he'd have been. I don't know how old he would have been at that point.
I don't know. But then again, he might have said something during Star Wars Rebels about, reminiscing about Grogu or something.
Can we get live action Kanan? If you're gonna bring everyone in, like just get Freddie Prinze to do it. It's fine. It'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. And obviously, the other character that had a cameo appearance, and of course, he was, from the Clone Wars series, of course, Cad Bane.
Cad Bane.
Boba Fett's mentor, so to speak, and the individual that is responsible for the dent on Boba Fett's helmet. So,
not canonically, though.
Yeah. Okay, Carl. Yeah. But anyway,
But I'll tell you later. When we get Go ahead.
So anyway, we get the standoff between him and the Marshal, which was I love that scene. I mean, this is where, of course, Star Wars and Westerns intertwine. And I was telling Burley about this as we were recording the Chapter 7 episode, that this is like the good, the bad, and the ugly, basically. And how Cad Bane is like Lee Van Cleef's character from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and just those comparisons is really, really cool in a sense. And how he comes up just out of nowhere, out of the dust, and the Marshal, it's like trying to figure out who this guy is, what his angle is, and all, and then of course his deputy becomes a stupid shit, and makes the mistake of drawing, and finds out how quick this guy is, even though he's really old, because he's from the Clone Wars era. But what did you think of Cad Bane?
I'm just going to read a few things we have in the chat here. We got Wreck-It, one of my moderators, coming in. Hey, Wreck-It.
Hey, Wreck-It. Hey, nice to see you in here, man. Yeah.
Kill has a question for us. Do you all have a favorite hero and villain?
Guys, got any ideas on that?
A favorite villain
pertaining to this particular season. My favorite.
I don't know if it's in general, or this. Who knows?
Yeah, you have to clarify for us, Kill, because we all have different answers. And then Fryman on YouTube saying hi, potatoes. Hey, potato.
Hey guys. Hey, Fryman.
Hey. But for Cad Bane, as this is a character, I knew nothing. I knew nothing. I didn't know this was an established character until Expat and I had recorded the episode for that. The episode he shows up in, that I think it's episode 6, and it was cool. A cool character. I wish they kind of would have given me a little bit more with him.
Yeah.
He wasn't underutilized, but he was getting kind of close to that level. Like they used him just enough.
For sure.
They did use him well. I think we can all agree there. I really did like that. Like with what they did with him, I'm actually want to go see him in the different media and different stuff to see how he holds up there. and compare against the Mandalorian to see if it fits well. It fits the same line, the character, but sounding from you guys, from the way you guys are talking, it kind of does. So
yeah. So Kill says in the chat, I would say in general, as I don't know the series. So the hero, I would have to say the Mandalorian. Coming in and saving the day, he would be the hero of the series, and helping out Boba Fett. The villain, as we were talking about earlier, Kill, I don't think there is really a particular villain. I think it was like the Syndicate, the Pike Syndicate were like the threat. I mean, so I don't know. Go ahead, Carl. What do you want to say?
I know. I thought when saying in general, meaning like in all of Star Wars, not just this series.
Okay.
Well, I guess I'm still not clear on the what you meant there.
I think he means in general because he doesn't know anything on this series.
That's what I thought.
On the book of Boba Fett. Okay.
As in general, because if you go general for me, Star Wars, Emperor, best villain.
Oh yeah, Darth Sidious, obviously. Yeah. Best hero.
Yeah.
I want to throw out Kanan Jarrus from Star Wars Rebels.
Okay.
If you watch that show from beginning to end, I think he's a fantastic character.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Kanan, and of course, the boy that comes in as well in the series. So
Ezra
Bridger. Yeah. So
Kanan
Ezra Bridger. I imagine he is going to show up in Ahsoka, because I think Ahsoka is probably going to be looking for Ezra Bridger in that series. Because if you watch Star Wars Rebels, at the end of Star Wars Rebels, you know what I'm talking about. But
there was a rumor of a casting for him, but it was never confirmed.
Never confirmed, but believe me, I'm sure they're going to bring him back.
It was the guy who played Aladdin in the live action Aladdin movie.
Yeah. So Kill in the chat says, I've seen 6 movies and nothing else. Yeah. Okay.
You don't need to watch 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, right. Just best villain is Darth Vader for me, for sure. I love Vader.
Of the 6 films,
fantastic character.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because you don't even see Ian McDermott until the prequels, really. Yeah. I mean, you just get like a couple of clips of him, and which were thrown in later, in the remasters and stuff. But Darth Vader for the 6 movies, and then I would have to say Luke, I guess, as the hero, to bring balance to the Force, so to speak, from the 6 films. Yeah.
Vader has so many good lines in the movies, in the original trilogy. I love it.
Yeah.
And watch episode 7. I think it's a great movie. It's so much fun.
No. Watch the last 5 minutes of Rogue One. There you go.
Well, that's a cool Vader
scene. That scene where he's coming through those hangar decks and just taking out those rebels. Yeah. Oof. That was great.
That scene with Vader, episode 7. I don't hate episode 7. It's just because you'll watch episode 7, you get to the end, and you're like, oh well, I want to see what comes next, and you don't want to. And then after episode 8, you're like, maybe episode 9 will fix it. It's like, no, it can't. It can't. It can't.
You could stop there. You could just stop. It's fine. No one's forcing you.
Let's go back to Cad Bane. So were you disappointed? Were you disappointed at his brief appearance in this show?
I want to say Cad Bane. So the scene where he shows up at the end of this episode, I mean, I love it. It's just just this great classic showdown. With the Marshal. Yeah, he's just he's got the great voice. He looks fantastic. Just spot
same
on.
Voice actor too. Same voice actor as the animated series. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like as ruthless as you'd expect. He just guns down the
Marshal.
The Marshal, but also his straight up murders his deputy.
Just
crap. Doesn't care. And that's like I knew of this character. I didn't watch a lot of Clone Wars, but I knew of him. I've seen him a little bit. So I went back and I watched every episode with him, which you think it's not that many, so it's not too much of a challenge to do. And
But it's good though. It's good.
he is fantastic. He is
Yeah.
that ruthless. He does not care. He will kill people all the time.
Yeah.
He's hands-on. He is like very resourceful and smart. He's a great character. And
Yeah.
he's the bounty hunter that you thought Boba Fett would have been, like, and before this show even exists, like when you're what your original trilogy days, when you're imagining what Boba Fett was, that's Cad Bane in the shows.
Right.
So it is I think a little bit of disservice to him in the last episode.
Yeah.
When he doesn't shoot Boba Fett in the face when he's got his helmet off. Like he would have just done that. There's no reason why he wouldn't have, and he also would not have waited the entire episode to then come and help. He would have been part of the fight. He wouldn't have let everyone on his side just die.
Yeah.
While he's hiding somewhere. Like that's not his character. It's like, it's weird that that's the way they did it.
Yeah.
But the thing I wanted to tell you, Expat, about the dent in the helmet.
Okay.
So that was written as an episode that they were going to do, but they never made.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like an animatic, like they mock up that they were going to do. He was going to have a duel, and I actually think Cad Bane was going to die. So I think that's kind of why.
Yeah.
They kind of fulfilled that, but I think he might survive. He had the little blinking light still on his chest thing.
Yeah.
He got stabbed.
Yeah. They left that a little bit open, I guess.
Yeah. He's already got like a metal sort of thing on his head there. He they could fix him up.
Yeah.
And also, look, if you look at this picture right here, look at all the work they put into making that animated character come to life.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're seeing him again, whether it's post this, whether it's before this. He can show up in Andor, or he can show up in Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, I mean Dave Filoni. I mean he's
been
the
around.
Mastermind behind all of this, and
He's been around
you're gonna
forever.
Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of characters from the animated series show up, and I'm really surprised for those of you that have watched The Bad Batch, which
check those out.
Yeah, Omega. Now Omega is supposedly Boba Fett's sister. Clone sister. Now I'm surprised that she didn't show up in this series, like at the end, but maybe they're leaving it open.
That.
Yeah,
I watched the least. So Cad Bane shows up in the last 2 episodes of The Bad Batch, or really just like the last minutes of the second to last, and then he's in the other one.
Yeah,
and saw that Omega character, and I kind of laughed because they're like, oh, she's just like Boba Fett, she's like a perfect clone of Jango. I'm like, but it's a girl, so it's not a perfect clone. What are you talking about?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. The unaltered DNA. I'm like, whatever, I get it, but like, it's such a weird thing. Like, you can just make a female clone of a male cat. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but I mean, you figure it's another Dave Filoni character that they're gonna bring in somewhere down the road. I mean, you'll probably see Omega at some point, and you'll probably see some of the others. But.
Yeah, and also wasted thing, because like Cad Bane fights Fennec in that episode of Bad Batch.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but never once do they even really say anything to each other here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so it's I don't understand. Like I don't feel like they handled him 100% right. Although like they did nail like his tone, So
yeah. Okay, let's get to that final fight, or kind of before, the one character that just drove me nuts this entire season was that Major Domo guy. The green, dressed, with the long ears, and dressed like a Joker, and going around. And he said that he was, he was educated on Coruscant. Oh, go figure, right? I love the scene where he says, I have these negotiation skills and I can go out there, and, of course, Boba and Mando are talking about, okay, we're going to go out there and go out in a blaze of glory and all. And so he's like saying, well, I can negotiate for you. And then Boba says, okay, give me the pad before I change my mind, and I'll put my price down. And he's tapping on the pad and he gives it to the guy, and the guy goes out there, makes him look like a total ass in front of those, Pike Syndicate guys that are coming in there, and he's like, not my words. I thought they were I was hoping so much that they would just gun him down right there and then. But of course they didn't, because if they ever do make a Boba Fett season 2, that Major Domo guy is going to be his kind of negotiator at the palace probably from now on.
No. What
you don't
he's
think
gonna
so,
be,
Burley? Yeah.
No. Well, they'll bring him back, but
Yeah.
he's going to be the joke negotiator when Boba's like, okay, I need a stupid distraction on the battlefield so I can just come out of nowhere and just snipe a bunch of people because people are idiots that are just going to watch this guy go out there and just spew a bunch of crap, and everyone knows he's spewing a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
So that's all that guy is good for. He can't negotiate shit. Let's be honest. He's only saying all this because Boba and Mando wanted to go out in a blaze of glory, and he knows there's a bunch of shots are going to go that way, and he's just going to get shot in the crossfire. He knows. So he's trying to save his. He's doing all this just to save his own ass. I was half surprised he just didn't go when he went out there and be like, they're in there, they're holding me out, they wanted me to do negotiations. You let me just book off, give me a 10-second head start to run.
Yeah.
You can go kill him. Just give me 10 seconds, I'm running.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
The beginning here of the last episode, the finale is off to a terrible start in my opinion, because they're in this the bombed out place of the
but before that, Carl, I want to say before you go on there, at the end of the previous episode though, it's making that ode to the Untouchables, at the very beginning of the Untouchables, where that little girl, it's like, hey mister, you left your briefcase.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you knew. As soon as I was watching that droid pick up that little bucket or something, it's like, oh, you left this. That was right from the Untouchables right there. But anyway, go ahead, Carl. Yeah.
They do that a lot. All these tropes, that they're taken from other places, and they're not using them well.
Right.
But so they're in the bombed out place, and they're like, oh, do we hold up here or do we go back to the fortress?
Yeah.
They're like, no, we'll stay here. I'm like, no, you're an idiot. You go back to the damn fortress where you have a Rancor and you have your spaceship.
Yeah.
And you have a fortress with big thick walls. That's where you go.
Yeah.
But
and you have your ship that has laser cannons on them too.
But remember, with the sloppy writing, you can have a Wookiee sneak into that palace with no problem.
I guess so. I guess it doesn't matter, right?
we kind of have to use that. I got it. I would have liked to see the palace, but you got it with the whole theme of he wants to, because it's also to his advantage to do it out there, because it makes him look better, that he's not like all the other crime people that were before, like Jabba and others that would have just stayed in the palace, fortified, and shot cannon blasts into Mos Eisley to kill any enemies that come in to kill him.
Yeah,
he's trying to show, hey, I protect you. Me and my guys laid our lives out on the line on the street. It's not the greatest writing. Let's.
It makes sense if you pull that off right. But again, he's also choosing to have the battle in the city and cause all this damage and destruction. There's so much collateral damage to the city because he chose to fight there, and he didn't need to.
He didn't really have a choice. To be fair, because they're just going to destroy the city. No matter what. The Pike Syndicate will destroy the city, and it's not like he's going to go outside the city and go out and face them, because he knows he's outnumbered. He knows he's outgunned, and at least with the city, there is some stuff he can go. They can hide behind some cover and get some.
Yeah, they can hide behind the one piece of cover they have, which is that thing, that armored car speeder that comes in, and they can just hide behind that while these giant things come towards them, and just keep hiding. It's fine, and you will not die because you have just the biggest plot armor in existence. Just don't worry about it. You're all gonna be fine. Everyone survives except for the Gamorreans, who tragically get pushed off a cliff.
Man. Oh, yeah.
That sucked that they lost their lives.
And their little wheels as they're falling off the cliff.
That's so mean. That's mean. Why'd they do that?
I really like them throughout the series, because just all the stuff they do, and the one gets bitten, and it's like they were probably, besides Finnick, they were his most loyal because they were there early on.
Yeah.
They went and helped him out, and it's just like
And they died
they
because,
paid the ultimate price.
yeah, because Boba's a moron, and he believed that none of the other groups would double cross him, and they all did.
Yeah.
And see, again, this is why it's so bad, because like he's fighting in a place where he's unprepared, right? And not only that, okay, and then he gets betrayed by multiple other gangs, and you think that would be a huge problem. He would incur heavy losses, but no, like none of the people get killed except for the Gamorrean guards. Like there's no reason why he's alive. They should all have been murdered horribly, because he was fighting enemies from both sides, and it just didn't make any sense. He didn't have like any great clever plan or any great sort of thing other than the Rancor, right? That gave him the advantage.
Yeah.
And the Rancor was really just a counter to the two giant mechs. Like that.
Yeah.
It's not like he had a real advantage. Technically, I feel like the Rancor probably should have lost to those things the way they wrote it. But I mean, I get what they were doing.
Yeah.
Because when it actually took shots, it looked like it got hurt. It's like I think it should have got shot to death. But whatever.
Got hurt, but pissed him off even more, though. Yeah.
Well, he's got the Rancor's got the rage like its master. I thought the Rancor was gonna die a few times with the way the shots, and like I think one or two the spike things, the legs from the droid hits it, and I'm like, oh no, we're gonna lose the Rancor. Like, we already lost the Gamorreans, and they fake you out so many times that Chrysanthemum is gonna die, the Wookiee, and it's like, oh no, we're gonna lose the Rancor. No, but thankfully the Rancor makes it. But it does have plot armor. Like I am not gonna deny that it has heavy plot armor. Like maybe if you showed me the Rancor having like some metal armor on it, would I be able a little more to be like, yeah, this thing isn't gonna die so easily, because I don't care how tough it looks. A couple laser blasts, and sometimes it gets shot in the same place, if I'm not mistaken, or nearby. That skin, even though how hard your skin is, those heavy laser blasts, it's just going to crack through.
Yeah. But let's go back a little bit. I mean, where Mando and Boba are on the jetpacks, flying up in the air and shooting all those.
You know what? I'll be right back.
Guys.
You guys go. I gotta check something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no problem. So Burley, that scene was really cool as they were flying around and shooting all those Pike Syndicate guys. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So
you know what that reminded me of?
What's that?
It reminded me of a good old 80s action film, an Arnold one, Commando. When he stormed the compound, and he just goes on just to get his daughter Jenny, I think was her name in the movie. He's just going around, just boom, 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 and just easily, where he's like, Mando and Boba get shot eventually, but for the first bit of them flying around, don't get shot. They don't miss a shot, and they're just like, boom, dead, boom, dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing about that Veskar armor. I mean, it's just, it still stings when they get hit, when they get shot. But yeah, it protects them, and Well, of course, obviously,
I think they'd rather take the sting than the laser blast.
Right, exactly. But because Mando, of course, in this scene here, he goes down, and Boba, supports him, and Boba, he gets hit as well, But so some good action scenes there, definitely. So some good stuff. Yeah. But I mean, I got to go back to Chrysanthemum, though. I mean, ode to Chrysanthemum. I mean, like, you thought he was going to die there. He was taking all his laser blasts, and then he's getting jumped by all those guys. You think, oh, okay, they're going to just knife him to death or kill him or bite him or, take him out. But then, like, he comes back down the street, and he's, like, carrying, like, two of them, and then he throws one up in the air and then blasts it. I mean, just... I mean,
And
I wonder who would win in a fight between Chrysanthemum and Chewbacca. I mean, it's like,
well, maybe that's the Mandalorian season 3. One of the other 12 Star Wars series they've got
maybe.
cooking, or that's the next. They're going to do a holiday special
There you go.
for this.
Yeah.
Because who wouldn't sub? If you're already not subbed to Disney Plus, who's not going to watch that?
Well, you figure Chrysanthemum's probably old enough to have fought like Chewbacca in the Clone Wars, so they might have been like partners in the Clone Wars or something, or they might have been fighting together. So who knows?
Who knows? We know nothing.
Yeah, we know nothing about that. So it's just a new character that they completely threw into the series, which was an added addition for sure. So.
Yeah, and now we got Carl back.
Hey, Carl. Yeah,
we can say this: the character that probably had the most plot armor, besides Boba, Chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
Because
oh my god,
he should have died in Episode 7 with the amount of shots, and then him near the end when they're walking before Boba gets him. He's got his leg. He's limping there.
Yeah, he
And
got
still
stabbed
getting
a couple
shot.
times.
He's getting shot as he's still walking back there, and I'm like, I love the character, but it's like, man, this writing, you're heavily doing plot armor.
Yeah.
He's okay. I can't say I love this character because he's just like Boba Fett in the original trilogy. Like he doesn't really have a character. He just looks cool. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
He looks cool, but he's badass in action scenes, so that does.
Okay.
Yeah, as when you were out, Carl, I was telling Burley that who knows, maybe Chrysanthemum and Chewbacca fought together in the Clone Wars. No idea. So
I don't know. I mean, he's in the comics. I know he tags along. We talked to Afra at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
So, he already has a place in the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know it too well. So,
yeah.
Okay. Exactly. Who needs plot armor with Stormtrooper aim?
Yeah.
Exactly. Kill till dawn. 100%.
True.
Yeah. There you go.
Not only that.
Thanks, Gil.
Those big armored droid things have terrible aim. They're just missing 100%.
Are you talking about the Scorpion droids?
Yes, those things are just missing all
those
over
are
the place.
More Clone War era tech. That they threw into the show. So,
but when Boba flies off and he's like, oh, I gotta go get something or whatever he says.
Yeah.
What do you think he was gonna do? What do you think he was gonna do? Because I didn't even think of it. It's like, where's he going? Like, who's he gonna get? What's he got left? And then he comes back with the Rancor, which I'm like, okay, I get it. You had to pay that off. But and now I'm thinking, like, how long did it take for him to ride the Rancor from the palace to the city?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
He should have got the fire spray ship. He should just got his ship.
Well, I originally thought he was going to get the ship, but then it also, like, after watching it and sitting and thinking, it makes sense the Rancor to also pay it off and everything. And with what they were saying with the, like, our laser weapons can't work, Darksaber doesn't work on these to break through the shield.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we need something physically that is strong to just punch right through. And when you think that, it's Rancor. But like, I wanted more with this Rancor of him writing it. Give him, I don't need like 20 minutes of him training on it, mind you, but I would have loved in, the episode where it was all Mandalorian, you could have given us 5 minutes with him starting to learn to ride it.
Sure,
actually writing it.
Yeah.
Give us that. Like, because I remember reading stuff and being like, well, they had to put the Mando stuff in there, not only to set up for Mando season 3, but to pad out the episodes. I was like, no. You could have given stuff with Boba and preparing for this battle. And with the Rancor, I don't know whether they didn't have the confidence in it or they just want to go back to be writing and doing stuff for Mandalorian.
Who knows? I mean, I can't see why you would waste 2 episodes of your Boba Fett show not furthering the plot of the Boba Fett show and not building those characters up.
Yeah.
It just kind of makes you wonder, did they start writing Mandalorian season 3 and realize like maybe we need to change, maybe we need to tell this here, because for whatever reason, whatever they're writing in that, just they didn't want to have to spend the time on this. But that's a bad way to do it, because you waste this reunion, because Grogu just shows up in the X-wing. Right?
Yeah. Thanks to R2.
Pilot, I guess, R2 piloted, and then the reunion of Grogu and Mando happens on a freaking rickshaw. Okay.
Wait, you didn't love her being on a rickshaw and the whole joke of of her coming into and not noticing hearing all the laser blasts and everything, and going into that? You didn't find that hilarious?
Oh no, yeah. Or how about the droid like moving the rickshaw with the like rolling, like sort of very super cartoonish, like I don't have traction, getting traction, like rolling thing.
Yeah.
Oh god, I hated it so much. It was so bad.
And then like Grogu uses the Force and just like gets rid of it. I don't know, but so obviously,
it was supposed to be an emotional moment, right? Like that reunion, I wanted to feel something, and I should have, but I felt nothing, because the way you presented it, you ruined it. It was terrible. You should never have done that.
Yeah. But anyway, of course, the Rancor, takes out the droids. He's pissed off, and so he goes on his little King Kong rant. And then he comes back down, and of course he's got Mando, and you think he's gonna kill Mando. Of course, tries to bite his helmet. Of course, doesn't. Vescar's too strong, I guess, and so he's about to kill Mando, and then of course Grogu comes to the rescue. And just that scene was probably one of the best scenes of the episode or the chapter. I mean,
Hey, before you want to talk about that, because on that part with the King Kong moment, I gotta say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm watching this thing happen, and I'm like, the Rancor kills it and everything. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, whatever. Like, I don't like a lot of this, but this was cool. Like, you did the thing with the Rancor, and it fought the destroyers, and that was good. But then all of a sudden it goes into this King Kong thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, what are we doing here? Why is this happening? Like I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, this is where the episode's going? Like, I thought like it's over. You won. Go into the like conclusion, wrap things up, give me some character stuff, story. Like, no, a little more action. Just got a little bit more action to go. And you got Mando fighting this thing for whatever reason. Doesn't make sense, because it should be Boba who can ride it and calm it down. Yeah. But it's Mando. And again, my problem with the plot armor and like everyone being invincible, like you're telling me that, okay, I get that he's bulletproof and lightsaber proof. But now he's also crush proof, okay? Because the Rancor couldn't crush him to death. It couldn't bite in his helmet, of course, I guess, to death. And on top of that, he gets just thrown onto the floor. I'm like, you're telling me blunt force trauma can't kill him either? I'm like, I guess he's just Superman. Nothing can kill this guy. I'm like, great.
Wow. Like
that was it. That was my piece.
But before the Rancor even goes after Mando, like, I get Cad Bane uses fire to get him away.
Yeah.
I would have thought that Rancor would have got a little further, picked up a rock or something, or debris, and chucked it at Cad Bane.
Yeah, right.
That was like that's what the thing. I would have thought that would have happened, or like when before it to run off, Boba says, "Go back to the palace. I will meet you there," or something like that.
Yeah.
To have his Rancor, just to get it out of the fight so him and Cad Bane can have their showdown. But no, you don't get any of that, and it just goes away, and it's like it goes after Pedro, the Mandalorian Pedro Pascal, for the dumbest thing, and it's just like, and then how are we gonna do this?
Burley, I thought for a second there you were gonna say Oberyn Martell.
Yes. Or Joel.
Yeah. You know what they should have did? just as like a comedic scene, just a cut scene or something that they threw out, pull off the helmet and then the rancor pull out Pedro Pascal's eyes like he did, during during Game of Thrones, the mountain, yes.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But like after that like them just going into their little battle, and Pedro doesn't want to fully hurt it because he knows this is Boba, and he doesn't want to go to Boba. Yeah, I killed your creature,
right?
That helped destroy the droids and saved our ass.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to do that, and then you have to have. Okay, we got Grogu in here, so we need the Force to be used.
Mm-hmm.
So puts him down.
Yeah.
With the Force,
yeah.
And it's like. But we did get one little payoff of it because Grogu puts it to sleep, and then nestles in there, and it's just so adorable. That little
I don't have that image there, Burley, but I have the one here where he's like standing next to the Rancor, and then it goes back to what Luke was telling Grogu, like what Yoda had told to Luke, size matters not,
Yeah.
So it's like, he's like just standing there, and the Rancor's like, it's like, it looks like he might try to eat him and all, and then he uses the Force to calm him down, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's actually a Force thing that we see a lot more in Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
There's several times where they establish that very well there, that you can calm beasts and things like that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And then we get the Cad Bane, Boba showdown.
Yeah.
And I say, Cad Bane just whooped his ass the whole time. I was like, yeah. I love the line. He's like, Boba's like, oh, you're old. He's like, yeah, I'm still faster than you.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he just kept shooting him, and got him. It was great. It looked cool. It was a good, like, little duel. And then it got stupid for some reason, like, because Boba has to win because he's the hero, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't, and he's got, I got to use my my Sand People move, which he hasn't touched that thing once since I don't know. When was the last time he used the gaffy stick?
When he fought Chrysanthemum, when he gets pulled out of the BAFTA tank.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he uses it and stabs him with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, you never see that thing again, except for, I think, because they had one more flashback of him being with the Tusken Raiders. And him,
when he went to that little establishment right outside of Mos Eisley, and he encountered those, I guess, maybe those bikers or something like that. Yeah, I don't know, or some.
Well, I think it's like the last time you see it is when he's when he's with Finnick, when they're scoping out the base. That would have been the last time you've seen it.
Yeah.
When he's trying to get his ship back and do the stupidest, one of the many stupid moments of the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, he's got him dead to rights. He's got his helmet off. He's got his blaster right to his head.
Yep.
And I don't know why somehow, like, we've already established that he's like the quickest draw in the West, and somehow he's slower than Boba, like, twirl moving off the ground. And I don't know. It's just bad writing. Like, you want that to work. I get it, but like, do it in a way that I think is believable.
Yeah.
Boba had awakened the Force.
Yeah.
I was just waiting to see if Expat had the thing on his stream deck. There, that's not how the Force works. From
yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have that one, Burley. Sorry.
See, Burley, you got it. That's a great line from episode 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the. Yeah. I'll give it that.
Yeah. So.
That's like that's so heavy plot armor that Boba won that fight, because you could have done a thing where they both had shot each other and shot the blasters both out of each other's arms.
Yeah.
And Cad Bane is instinctively going to go for the blaster.
Mm-hmm.
Boba doesn't think he can get to the blaster in time, but he does have the thing. He has the staff on his back.
Yeah.
So he instinctively just goes to stab him.
Yeah.
And knock the blaster before Cad Bane can grab it or whatever. I could buy that more than what actually happened Because
Yeah,
what
and
actually
when-
happened was just like plot armor activate.
Yeah, and wouldn't you know it, Burley? In the animatic of the unmade episode where they have the duel, it's exactly what happens. They both shoot each other at the same time, and Cad Bane shoots Boba in the head, leaving the dent there in the helmet. And I guess Cad Bane got killed or something.
Yeah.
You don't see, obviously it's not a finished thing, but like that's what they showed.
Until the
I'm like,
Ripper
yeah.
Doc.
Yes.
Yeah. But of
It-
course,
that's-
then, as we were talking about earlier, Carl, you're saying you don't think he's dead. You don't think Cad Bane's dead because you saw
Yeah.
that little thing blipping on his, on
Yeah,
his
I
chest
mean,
there. Yeah.
why is that there? It's got. You think it means something, right?
Yeah. Maybe he had, been close to death previously, and in some other point, and so he had that installed or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
No idea. But yeah.
Well,
So,
we'll have to
and
wait
then, of course,
see on the Cad Bane show that'll get announced.
the Cad
next
Bane
year.
show. Yeah, right.
The Book of Cad Bane.
The Book of Cad Bane. Yeah. So, of course, then. And
And then he becomes a hero because that's how it goes. He becomes just a super nice guy. This is my city. I will protect my city.
Yeah, and that's how it pretty much ends up. It's like supposedly, after Fennec, takes out all of the crime syndicate there, and then kills the mayor and all, strangles him and everything. Yeah, it seems like he's in control at the end of the episode, and then of course Mando, and he's got the N1, and he's got Grogu. He takes off, and they're going off somewhere. Who knows where? I would be interested to see, and I'm looking forward to the Mandalorian season 3 and where this goes. But Mando still doesn't know why Grogu left Luke, so I wonder how he's going to react when he finds out, why he left Luke. Because you would figure that Mando would probably want him to finish his Jedi training in some way. So, this is the way. You should finish your training. We shall see. But
you undid the entire thing, the entire plot there from this season 2 of Mandalorian. Like that big choice. Like realizing that he probably should be with someone who can train him, or just someone who knows more about that stuff, and why. And he's living a dangerous life. He shouldn't have a child with him. But like, nah, forget it. Just go back.
But then again, he's not a child. He's like 50 years old. So.
I mean, yeah, but he acts like a child.
Acts like a child. Yeah.
Well,
so.
Yeah, who knows with the way the writing that we've seen here, if they're bringing that level of writing into Mando season 3, this stuff it's like,
yeah. I don't.
Do we get a Boba Fett?
He's just gonna understand, because that he wanted to see him, and then that Mando had brought him the gift, the armor. So Grogu's like, yeah, I know that. I've known him a lot longer than I've known you, Luke. See ya. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Plus, he may let me eat some eggs.
Eggs and frogs. Yeah, somewhere else. Do we get a Book of Boba Fett season 2 though? Do you think Disney's going to greenlight another season of this?
Yeah, I say no, because I mean, I don't think the reception to this is very strong. You got your people who like it, of course, but it's definitely not viewed as well as Mandalorian, and it very much feels like, okay, we want another Star Wars show and nothing else is ready, and I guess for some reason they were able to, poop this out real quick. And that's really feels like it was just filling the gap of Star Wars content, because as we know, they've announced the Obi-Wan show is coming in May.
Yes.
So, there's so much on the docket. I think there's really no reason to do this. And obviously based on the writing of this and where the story went, like, I don't really think anyone has a good idea for more of this.
Yeah.
I think
Burley,
it
what
was
do you
more
think?
just, if you're gonna bring, I think they will, but I think if they do the season 2, they're going to be heavily just going, we need to go concise with this. We can't do the split tone of just midway through the season just switch to the Mandalorian.
Mhm.
So, but I think the only reason they did do a show for this is because, okay, we brought Boba Fett in Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah.
Because this is a character that has name recognition. Of course, we got to give him a show.
Yeah.
Because he was the first ever Mandalorian you did see in Star Wars. So they're gonna do something like that because it is a big name, and I think they probably learned, okay, we can't just book off the frickin' name and put Mandalorian in 2 to 3 episodes.
I think what they're trying to do. Go ahead, Berlin.
Hope that wins over people. I think I'm hoping they realize, like, we have to bring our A game, bring good writing, bring a storyline that we actually care about, that can actually fill. Even though this was only 7 episodes, it seemed like with the way they did things, they chopped certain things down, extended certain things just to get to 7 episodes.
I think these series are both intertwined now. I think you're going to see Boba Fett and Finnick in Mandalorian season 3 in some capacity. You're going to see them. I think they're just, whereas Mando came into this season, and it almost seemed like the, season 3 preview, for a couple episodes. But I mean, yeah, I think they're probably, do I hope so that there's another season relit? Probably not. But then again, I think they will, because their stories are intertwined now, Boba Fett and the Mandalorian. Because, in Mandalorian season 3, the plot line of taking over Mandalore and reestablishing Mandalore, that's going to become a focal point. You got Bo-Katan, she's going to be a major character, and that Darksaber is going to become a major piece of the puzzle of how, Mandalore is going to be reshaped, who's going to rule Mandalore. And I think Boba is going to have a little bit to do with that. Something to do with that.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's weird because they treaded this ground already in Rebels. So,
yeah.
Bo-Katan was in that, and Sabine was in it, and Sabine had the Darksaber in that.
And Sabine will probably be in Mandalorian season 3, I think.
Well, she's cast for Ahsoka, I believe.
Ahsoka, but probably she'll make an appearance in Mando season 3.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yep.
It's just so weird how they're toying around with that, the reestablishing Mandalore idea, and you gotta include those other characters, and like Boba Fett doesn't really fit into that. They've at this point retconned him into being a Mandalorian. Like, what did they say? Like, his father was.
Well, his father fought in the Mandalorian Civil Wars. Yeah, he was a man. He was a foundling.
Therefore,
so, like Mando.
Yeah,
so
like, therefore you're a clone of him. So I guess you're a Mandalorian. I guess. Why not? That's how. Who cares how any of this works? That's not how the Force works. But they could just leave him on Tatooine. Like, it's his thing. Like, why is he at this point? Since he's so attached to this, I don't see him leaving. So I don't see Mandalorian staying there. So I don't know. Like, I could see him appearing in it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know why he would continue to be a significant part of it.
Yeah, and then where they take Grogu's story, and the Jedi in general. I mean, you have Luke's timeline and his storyline. We know how all that shapes out, but then Grogu could go to another side of the galaxy and start another type of Jedi Order. Who knows? I mean,
I don't know.
The Order of the
writers
Darksaber.
could. I mean, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, I mean, they could take that in so many different directions, I mean, there is a rumor that they're going to, like, Rey is going to come back in another Star Wars, film, like a future type of film. Maybe Grogu and Rey meet or something. Who knows? I mean,
yeah. I mean, there was
Yeah.
rumors of Finn coming back and maybe getting a show, which I think would be perfect. I would love that.
and Finn could train with Rey, because at the
Yeah.
end of episode 9, he's figuring out his force senses. So
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just so weird because they put this in a weird place because of The Last Jedi and what they did with Luke and how they explained all that.
Yeah.
I feel like we're back in another situation where it's like, well, there's not really any Jedi anymore again for like another long period of time. Like, not that there can't be Force users, and I guess the Jedi Order kind of sucks, and we don't need that. So you can just say there's other sects of Force users who establish in a different way.
Right.
But we don't. None of that. It doesn't feel like any of that exists in episode 7, 8, and 9, right? It feels like there's just no Force users again, but there's Broom Kid. You don't forget about Broom Kid.
Right. Well, they're out there. It's just
So, like,
Broom Kid. Yeah,
I don't know.
They're out there. These Force-sensitive people are out there. We just, there's no Jedi to go looking for them and find them.
Why does there need to be? Like, that's the thing. Like, why? I don't know.
Yeah, well, obviously from the previous stories, of course, to grow the Jedi Order, but the Jedi Order as we know it now is done. Because Rey's probably going to take it in a whole different direction. So
I hope so.
So that and maybe Grogu shows up and maybe he actually can speak to her by this time. Who knows? But I don't know, man. So let's, before we end the show, let's talk a little bit about the next series, Star Wars series coming to Disney Plus, Obi-Wan Kenobi. So what do you expect out of Obi-Wan? We're gonna get an Inquisitor, it seems like.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, and the guy who was in Homeland, I think, one of the actors from Homeland, if you saw that series, he's going to be, and he played Hitman, I think, in one of the, the films that was based on the Hitman video game series. He's going to be the Inquisitor, it seems like. I think he's been cast, but.
They said which Inquisitor it was. I wonder, is it one that showed up in Rebels?
Yeah, I think it's the
Grand Inquisitor, right?
The Grand Inquisitor, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're saying here. Okay,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
He was cool. He had that cool lightsaber that like had that like spinny thing.
Yeah. The spinny thing, yeah.
They flew like helicopters with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it might look silly in live action, but I was like, this is cool in the cartoon. I liked it.
I don't know. I don't know if they should show that. But and then of course Hayden Christensen is coming back.
Yeah, I guess I would assume
Darth Vader.
flashbacks of some sort, or maybe I don't know. I'm not sure how you do that.
I'd love to see them fight though. Yeah,
I don't know.
Well,
because he's going to be
probably have
after
Flash.
him. Yeah.
They shouldn't technically meet.
I think it's more.
Maybe they do, but I'm not sure why they would.
I don't think.
Well, because Darth Vader his ultimate mission is to find Obi-Wan and to kill him. Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, he wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like showing himself to Darth Vader would be a really bad idea. It's the reason why he hid out there in the first place.
Well, it's either that or
he's supposed to protect the children and keep them away. So you would never want to let him know you're around, where you are in any capacity.
Right. Well, this series is supposed to take place 10 years after the end of Revenge of the Sith. So Luke would be 10, technically. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't think this entire it's like a limited series, obviously. I don't think it's all going to be on Tatooine. I think he's going to go off world. I don't think so either. Yeah. For some scenes or some episodes. And maybe in some of those episodes is where he runs into the Grand Inquisitor or runs into Vader. So who knows?
And he runs into Darth Maul.
Yeah. That's a possibility. That is a
No,
possibility.
we already saw that in Rebels.
Yeah.
Did you not? I guess you didn't. Did you not watch all of Rebels?
No, I know what happens.
Yeah.
So,
I was disappointed with that, but whatever. It was all right.
Yeah.
I think what you're going to expect to see in that series, you're going to get the hello there. You'll get that. You'll get one, either open with that or in one of the episodes. You'll get flashbacks, I think, to like episode 2 and 3 with them being together, him and Hayden Christensen, and just him reflecting and being like, how could I let this happen to this guy I was training, and him to become Vader and him to betray us all and all that. I wouldn't be surprised if because they hint at they say it in the end of episode 3. I have a way you can talk to your master, Qui-Gon. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised whether or not it's actually Liam Neeson they get to reprise the role, but to have him communicate to him and give you that.
What about Mace Windu?
Yeah.
As a Force ghost.
Yeah. See, it's weird. There's a problem with that because, again, they sort of explained this. I think it was in the last season of Clone Wars, the one that when they brought it back.
Yeah.
And they sort of explained that like Qui-Gon was trying to figure out this whole Force ghost thing, right? But he didn't learn something. He wasn't able to do it, right? But he passed that knowledge on to like Yoda, I believe, and Obi-Wan. I don't remember exactly how it played out, but they addressed that in that season. So I would love to see Qui-Gon as a Force ghost, but they sort of established that he can't be one. Not that they can't retcon that, however they want.
Yeah. What about Mace? I mean, there's been rumors that Samuel L. Jackson, could show up in one of these shows. But
I mean, if they want to do, if they're doing flashbacks, sure.
Yeah.
As a Force ghost, I think it applies the same way that like the only ones who really knew it. But then it doesn't make sense why Anakin knew it. Anakin became one, so like it is kind of like very, as it is with all this stuff. Like they're just making it up as they go. So
yeah. We shall see, but and I'm wondering if we'll get like a young Luke, a 10-year-old Luke cast for the Obi-Wan show. Probably not. I think it's going to be focused generally on Ewan McGregor and his exploits, but we shall see.
Oh, I forgot. Don't you remember that Force ghosts can do things in the real world, that they can.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
they can catch lightsabers. They can rain down lightning bolts.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, as of the Last Jedi, we learned this. So.
Yeah.
And let's why not? They can do anything at this point. Just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Well, I think they will show Luke, but I think it's like the end of the series kind of thing. You either end on him, whether it's him as a young kid, or you kind of flash forward at the end of that series to kind of tie it in with episode 4.
Yeah, with Mark Hamill's electronic voice, right?
Electronic voice, and I hear Carl's in talks with them on that to be the body double for Luke in that series.
Oh, we didn't talk about. Doesn't in Boba Fett, he goes to like the Tashi station, right? And he like beats up those guys.
Yeah.
Is that's what that was?
And Luke's friends were there.
Yeah. That was a good scene. I actually enjoyed that. That was nice fan service there.
Yeah, that was cut out of episode 4. Yeah, the dialogue between him and his 2 friends there. But I don't know. We shall see. All right, I think that's pretty much going to do it for our Book of Boba Fett Season 1 review multi-stream. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burley of Burlyman Gaming on Twitch, and Turn-Based Carl. And, of course, Burley and I, if you guys out there, any of you that are watching this that might also be into video games, Burley and I, we did a extra take episode of Pokemon Legends Arceus, which goes up to our Patreon at patreon.com/thearena_podcast. And it will be going live to YouTube. Will be going public later on today. So in the morning, your guys' time on Sunday. So yeah, be sure to watch that. Burley provided a lot of footage of Pokemon Legends Arceus, and we did a gameplay review of it. So yeah, be sure to stay tuned for that as well. And of course, our Chapter 7 discussion of the Book of Boba Fett, the final episode Burley and I did, is now up on YouTube as well. So the Arena Productions. So please check that out. And yeah, we also do a Marvel show called The Marvelous Marvel Discussion Arena. Our last episode was obviously on Hawkeye, but we're going to be doing episodes for Moon Knight. And Carl, I know you're really looking forward to Moon Knight. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to be
high
doing
hopes on that.
yeah, we're going to be doing episodes for Moon Knight as well. So stay tuned for that. All right. So thank you so much. Thank you all on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube for coming in. And those of you that watch us later, video on demand, yeah, please leave us a follow or subscribe to the channel over on YouTube at the Arena Productions. So yeah, so that's been it for us. The Book of Boba Fett, Season 1. Maybe there'll be a Season 2. We're not sure. But if there is, of course, we'll be bringing you coverage of it as well. So thank you so much, everybody. So take care and have a great evening or have a great day wherever you are. So we hope to catch you in the next one. So take care. Peace out.